is the final days of COP29, and hope is fast fading for Africa as the global north continues to scuttle talks on finance, a key agenda for Africa. Now, temperatures are beginning to rise as ministers talk over the negotiations coming under pressure to ensure a fair deal for poor countries. Zainab Bondati is in Baku, Azerbaijan, and now unpacks day 9 for us.
On this 9th day of COP29, the ministers from around the world, environment ministers from around the world, have picked up their turn at the negotiating tables, and it is hoped that they will be able to unstick the issues that the negotiators were not able to resolve last week. Now remember, African ministers had their meeting on Sunday to prepare for today and to see what was left pending, what are the sticky issues that nobody is agreeing on, and where will they be picking up from. And so today, these ministers had a briefing with the journalists around to see what is the strategy that Africa will be adopting in the light of the, you might say, failure from the negotiation tables last week.
If we do not leave COP29 with a clear decision on climate financing, I will tell you what the rest of us are thinking. That the developed countries are not interested in the development of the rest of the mankind. Because we cannot live under conditions that each and every day we wake up to a crisis that will wipe out a whole community or even a whole country, to a crime that we never committed to.
So the issue of climate finance is very important, and we need to address it. For a long time we've been talking about it. In Dubai, it was very categorical that we are going to start the issue of loss and damage. The fund is, they mentioned huge amount of the funds, but up to this moment, we are still concerned that it's becoming like a mirage. The more you talk about it, the more it disappears. So
as the ministers pick up these discussions, protests are still continuing here with the civil society groups and activists from various parts of the world, all of them demanding for climate justice and calling for commitment and finance that will enable poor countries to adapt to the impact of climate change. But really, is anyone listening?
And we must continue pushing in the negotiation rooms, but we must also continue pushing in the streets. And that is why we'll continue chanting, we'll continue speaking, and we hope that some people listen at some point. Because what we need is finance number 1, climate finance number 2, climate finance number 10, and everything else can follow.
Kenya's Environment Minister Aden Duale, who had been expected to be back here in time for this ministerial this week, but unfortunately he's not here yet. PS Festus Ngeno, who was here last week leading the team in the absence of CS Duale, has had to leave. He left on Sunday after the African ministers meeting, and this is because as a PS and as an accounting officer, he cannot be away from the country for more than 7 days, so he had to go back home. And so in the absence of both the CS and the PS, Kenya's delegation is now headed by Ali Mohammed, who is Kenya's special envoy on climate change, and he's also the chairman of the African group of negotiators. So in those ministerial rooms, when the ministers are sitting down to discuss the text before them, Ali will be wearing 2 hats, both as Kenya's head of delegation and representing CS Aden Duale, and as the chairman of the African group of negotiators.